Alright, sure hope this is working.
Oh boy, it's definitely picking up.
That's how I'll sync the audio, with that clap. Did you finish your smoothie already?
No.
Where is it?
Why, it's right here. Alright, you gotta talk into the mic.
Hello.
Cool.
I wish I had it in front of me.
There's probably a way.
Can I do this?
Yeah, but that's picking up noise every time you do it.
Can I do this?
You're talking into the wrong part of it.
Talking into my dick. This? Will this work? Can I just do it like this? I just want to stare at you while I do this.
Alright.
Alright, here we go.
Tell me about this dream you had.
Wait, no, this is the first episode. We need to introduce ourselves.
Why? No one cares.
Are we going by our real names this time? I'd like to. Okay. My name is Mike Cocciolo. There. It's out there.
You finally said it. How does it feel?
Known as Dr. Zeptard.
On Instagram. Go follow him.
Some few. And this is BSR Fellows.
Yeah, that's my Instagram handle. I don't know why we're plugging that, but yes. I'm Brady Fellows. Hello. And that's it. Tell me about your dream, Mike.
First of all,
what?
The first episode of Context Blue, the show where we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mike's gonna tell you about his dream now.
Okay. Well, I'm afraid the hype is higher than it is because there should be.
You made me wait a week for this.
Are you sure?
All right, maybe like 3 days.
Okay. So it was a weird dream, but it's not weird in the sense that it was like shocking and crazy and like, whoa! Did that peak?
I don't know.
So, okay. It was just weird in the sense that it was extremely oddly specific, and I have no idea why any of the things in it were in my mind. And it was very short, or at least I only remember a chunk of it. I don't remember if the rest of it was longer. So I was in my dream, I was in like a weird like convention center. Like it felt like, I wonder if I had this dream because of the thing we went to.
Did we go to a thing?
Storybook thing.
Oh, the World of Words.
Did I tell you about this before that? Because I don't remember when I...
Yes, you did tell me before.
It was before that, but okay, I was in like a convention center.
Sorry, folks.
And, like big white walls with big, huge glass windows and lots of people walking around. And there was this one big cardboard thing. This like big cardboard sign that was next to it. Do you remember a show called Tiny Toons?
No.
It was like Looney Tunes, but there was like a blue rabbit and a pink rabbit. Look it up.
I don't really want to.
Well, it's important for the dream. It's important for the dream.
All right, I'm swiveling my mic around to do this.
They don't care. No one's watching anyway.
Well, they might hear it. It's quiet.
Record in a forest. You never watched that?
Oh, it's like when they're young.
No, but it's not Looney Tunes.
It's not? Oh my god.
It was made by the same people as... Well, I don't know if it's Porky Pig or not, because it's not Daffy. It was kind of like a ripoff.
What is this weird MS Paint fan art? Look at it. All right.
It was a Steven Spielberg. It was like one of those
Tiny Toon Adventures.
But there was bugs, so I don't know. It must have had something to do with Looney Tunes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, but anyway, there was a big sign that had all of the Tiny Toons characters on it, but they were just like that picture. They looked like this shitty MS, like fan art, and then there were a little tiny word that said the Tiny Toons Department of Political Correctness. And I read that, and that's all I remember of the dream.
Oh, that was fantastic.
I know.
That's worth the wait. Wow.
I don't know why I was thinking of that. It makes no sense.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
It's just one of those dreams where it's like, you forget you have it, and then you're just in the shower, and you're like, oh, I better tell someone. You know, have you had that? That experience?
Oh, so you know how you're always asking me, like, is there a certain soundbite that you remember from your childhood? No, but I think I was actually in the shower the other day.
Oh.
And I thought, astounding, I know. And I thought, about this thing that I used to do back when my mom was still buying my shoes. Did you have that one pair of shoes that you just hated, and so you were like as awful to them as you could possibly be?
I'm not sure.
Like, my mom was the one who'd be like, untie your shoes when you take them off or you'll wear out the laces. So knowing this, I would intentionally rip off those shoes that I hated without. Great, I would never say that I didn't like them.
Yeah.
I don't know. This feels like maybe a 4 to 8 year old thing. Like, I remember doing this a lot, and I'd be like, I want to kill this pair of shoes, and so I'd never untie them, and they'd get all gross, and then they wouldn't die. Invariably, it was the shoes that I tried to kill that hung around the longest.
No, I actually don't. Sorry, I don't have that experience because I never really cared about shoes. I never really cared about my clothes, especially when I was little. I was always just like, I just wear it. I liked to wear things that were just solid colors when I was little, because it was like I don't have to worry about the image on the shirt and what it means. And I would just wear solid colors and stripes, and I didn't care about my shoes. But I did have these Hot Wheels shoes that had little wheels on the side that you could spin. They were cool.
Not Heelys.
No, I did have Heelys though. I remember I saved up a bunch of money for Heelys, and when I finally got them, I used them like twice, and then I put them in my closet and never used them again.
It's like when Calvin gets the propeller beanie.
Yeah.
You thought they would actually make you heel.
I felt guilty about those Heelys. all that time.
Survivor's guilt. Heely guilt.
Yeah. Heely guilt.
All right.
They're lame anyway.
All right.
Those are just for like dumb 6th graders who might be cool.
I just figured out a better setup for your microphone, so I'm gonna have us pause.
Why can't we just move it?
Do you think that'll be entertaining?
Who knows? Could be.
No. I don't. It's just gonna be a hassle.
It might be funny.
All right. Here we go.
Why do you want to move it?
Well, okay, so you got this thing here, right?
Uh-huh. So you see here.
Right. Tank this off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
What, is that supposed to happen?
Well, now I fucked it.
What were you trying to do?
I just want you to, because you're not talking into it still.
But
I just want it to be.
well, I can make the audio louder on mine.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Artificially. I can match the audio volumes. Nah.
All right, then I'm still unclipping this.
Okay, I know how to audio. I've been doing it for years.
Left to Lucy.
Well, anyway, maybe we should explain to the viewers. We had a podcast before this.
No, don't let them know.
Oh, I was gonna put it on the same channel.
No.
I was just gonna change the channel logo and just keep the old ones on.
No, we're trashing the old one.
Are you sure?
I'd like to.
We didn't even say anything bad on that.
But I don't care.
Okay.
You can keep them. I have the recordings too.
I have to find out how to log into that YouTube account because I don't know how. So they might be.
Oh God, I've been off mic for so long. I hope that was fun.
You might have been on my mic.
I probably was.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Go ahead, hop
I
on.
hope you guys, whoever's still here, is having a good time. All right, let's quickly think of something interesting to say.
Uh-oh.
Okay, no,
I'm bad at that.
How about this?
What?
Well, anyway, we did have a podcast before. I won't say what it is, apparently, but we recorded
That's right.
4 episodes. One of them was episode 0, which we were planning to release on the 10th anniversary, which is never going to be now. So now it's lost to time.
I have the date it was recorded.
I have it on my computer. And also, and then we released one of them.
Stop patting my desk.
We only ever released one of them. I never checked to see if it got any attention. And then we recorded a second one.
All right, I'm gonna move his mic again.
Editing, but I didn't record. But I didn't upload. What are you doing?
It'll still pick you up.
Okay. And then
You're closer to it here. Just scoot over on the.
we started recording a. Oh, this is perfect. Yeah, there we go.
It's where it was before.
Well, sometimes
God.
that's what it takes.
Yeah, I know. Hold up.
You see, good recorders would have figured this out before they started.
Good recorders. Good. All right,
And
go.
then we made a third one, and then we lost it all.
Because I pressed delete and
But it's
messed it up.
okay, because it wasn't that good of a one. I remember the only interesting thing we talked about was aliens and Coast to Coast.
Oh, Coast to Coast AM?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was talking about that weird. There's a story about like a weird sound that came on in a like someone picked it up on their FM radio.
I don't remember that. We watched your animations.
That was episode 2.
Oh shit.
I still want to upload that one though because it is one of the funniest things ever.
That episode?
Yeah.
Is it actually?
Yes, I was.
Or are we just laughing at our own jokes
no,
again?
I thought it was funny. I was listening to it because I was finishing editing out the voices, the names. How about this? I'll change the name of it, and I'll release it as like a bonus on the new channel or something. You know, because I want that information out there because it was really funny.
The world has to know.
Yes.
All right. I want to give that another listen. I have it on this hard drive right now, so I guess that's cool.
On the podcast.
No, we did that once.
Have a podcast in a podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. I don't want to do that.
That'd be really dumb.
Yes. Anyway, I'm a sip. You think of something to say?
In your life.
You're looking at it, bucko.
It's nice.
This man forgot to drive.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
So I live nearish to campus where we both go to school, and this dude every day parks at a now former Boston Market.
Now an abandoned Boston Market.
Which, if that's just a phrase and a half right there, we should go in.
Yeah.
Episode 2, B&E.
Dude, you know what else? There's also
Boston and entering.
an abandoned movie theater near here.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
It's the one down on University?
Yeah,
or Park?
Oedipus?
Oedipus? The Oedipus complex?
the Oedipus theater. It's something weird like that. It starts with an O, and like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
X in it, and maybe it is Oedipus. That'd be weird. Oedipus. No. But anyway, I went up to it once, and it said it's like property of the U of A now, so we could probably get in trouble for going in it. But it's not a movie theater, it's just sitting there collecting dust. But you know what we could probably get away with is if we got a drone, we could fly a drone into it somehow and record around in there.
That has the potential to be horrifying.
Yeah, but awesome. If we could find like an open space, like maybe I think there's like a little like vent or something that's like open at the top, I don't remember. But we could like we could fly it through a pipe or something and like fly our little camera around in there. What if we uncovered something weird? What if we saw drug dealers in there or something?
You think they'd just keep going if there was a drone flying around?
Well, what if they didn't hear us coming or something? Or what if they were fucking and then we flew around and saw them there and just flew away?
This has become a fantasy.
Now we've got it on there. Sorry, boy.
All right, let's talk about something else.
I still want to do that one. If I ever get enough money for a really good drone, then I'm going to go do that.
This thing is too close to my nose. There we
There's
go.
another place I want to visit called, I think they call it like Satan's.
Oh, this is bad.
No, it's good. It's like Satan's Tunnels or something, and it's like an abandoned, it's like a non-operational sewer system that's also here in Tucson.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go there.
You were going to do a project where you went down there.
I never ended up doing that because there's a bunch of graffiti. I want to go there and I want to add graffiti to it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I want to make art on there.
You know those white panels that they project stuff onto on the Speedway underpass? Right by the art school?
I think so.
The walking path?
Yeah.
When they were putting those up, I had the strongest urge to just take one of my Posca markers and vandalize.
We should.
No, we just outed ourselves. Our full names are attached to this, Mike.
I mean, people can put their signatures on graffiti.
But it's like a...
But you gotta do it in a place where people wouldn't care.
I know, I feel bad too because that's art, so I wouldn't do it. It's someone else's art, you know, like...
What is?
They project video art pieces onto it.
Oh, they do? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Oh, here's something funny. So yesterday after we left the gym, I went over and had dinner, right, at the honors cafeteria.
Yeah.
And I was walking around, and I don't think I wasn't so much... I don't know, maybe I was judging, but I was looking around and I was like, boy, maybe I've been stuck in the art school too long, but these people just all look like honors people.
It looks really boring.
No, not even that. I was just like, wow, these people all have like similarities in dress.
Well,
it's very strange. And I was thinking, I can absolutely see that in the art school too, and like all the business majors. And it's just funny how that breaks down.
It is strange.
Even within a 1 square mile area, there's cliques.
It's weird, like, It's so easy, I think, especially for me, to become pretentious.
Oh God.
Like that, and
me too.
and becoming judgmental. But whenever I find myself becoming judgmental, I've learned to recognize that as a sign that I'm insecure about something, and so I can immediately stop and be like, okay, why am I judging these people? And it's because this is going on in my life, and I'm trying to avoid worrying about it or something. And that to me has so far been a really good method of avoiding becoming pretentious.
That is such an awesome way to look at things. Yeah. And I try to do that too when I catch myself. Oh, of course. If it were easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah, and lots of pretentious people in the world.
It's like me. I'm looking at an Arcade Fire album on vinyl on my wall.
Considered pretentious.
Oh my God.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it have like a Rick and Morty stigma?
No, they have an MFA stigma.
Who's MFA?
Master of Fine Arts. So like art grad student, sort of, maybe even less, maybe lesser than that.
Tool kind of has that stigma too, because they talk about.
They're pretty all right.
Huh?
I like some of their songs.
Yeah, I love a lot of them songs.
And later. Infinity. All right.
Yeah, we started doing that.
We started singing. Singing is a strong word. We started speaking the lyrics to Lateralis in weirder and weirder voices in class one day.
It started with baby talk and then turned into weird, like, deformed alien baby talk, and I don't know what it is.
New Yorker baby.
Oh, yeah, and then the other day, me and Brady were at the gym, and I was going to throw my shake away in the recycle, which was a circular shaped, and the trash can was square, and Brady was like, throw that in the trash, and I was like...
The cup was round. I said he sounded like a baby New Yorker.
He's trying to be a New Yorker. He shouldn't be a dumb baby, and he's a New Yorker for some reason.
And so now he's going to give his baby with long legs that voice.
We never talked about that.
We never talk about that?
No, and we never, they don't know what this is.
Oh, I thought...
long legs.
Well, now's your chance.
Okay, yeah.
I thought you said we don't talk about that. like you were going to come at me.
No, yeah, I don't know. I came up with an idea for something, and because I was like, has anyone ever made a character who's like a baby who has really long legs and walks around like a Kermit? And now I can give him a weird New Yorker accent.
Oh, God.
That'd be really funny. I don't know what to call him.
Crembit. You know what I think about almost every day? What? Is that video where somebody throws a Kermit puppet off of like a high story building. And there's like the lady recording goes, oh my God, oh Jesus, oh God. And then he like softly lands on the ground.
What were we talking about before this baby thing?
Oh God, Arcade Fire.
Cool. Yeah, I was gonna say.
And thinking of insecurities, or realizing that you judging people, and by you I mean general you, because I do this too, and I wish I thought about it this way more, is an indicator that some insecurity is coming up of yours.
I guess you can't always say it's always true either, because sometimes you see someone and it's like, okay, that person's an asshole, and it's like,
Brother Dean.
Yeah.
At Brother Dean. Yeah.
But then you can also...
I can't believe I just said at. I need to... All right, go on.
You could also, like, say, okay, but I don't know everything about him or what's going on in his life. But, I mean, but then it's also, like, but some things it's just, like, inexcusable behavior. And it's like, no matter what you're going through, you shouldn't be acting this way.
Yeah, and the other thing is, the other, like, childhood thing. It's funny you should say that. My mom, boy, wiser than I... realized, probably saw that in me, like my...
Like your potential to become pretentious?
Yes, my proclivity to sort of like be judgmental.
I weirdly think it is a side effect of having intelligence.
Thank you, Mike.
But I think but that's the problem, because once you realize that, then that's another gateway to becoming pretentious again.
Wait, I don't want to forget the two things that I got lined up here.
Okay, go ahead.
The first one was that other childhood thing, which is that my mom would, like, one of her mantras was, we don't know the backstory.
Yeah.
And that's really good. Remember the book, Small Things?
Yes, I adored that.
That was fantastic. Mel, oh God. I wrote it down.
Rennington or something?
No, it was...
Tinnington?
The book is Small Things. It's a wordless, visual story. Picture book sounds so demeaning.
That book... ruined my day.
It's so good that it ruined Mike's day, and in a good way. I read, quote, it also.
I think you did, because it's still language.
Well, anyway, yeah, I read it also because read is what you do with a book. So we'll ignore the language image debate. And it was heavy. And then I read one about the Middle Passage, so I was just in a funk.
This morning I looked up what Christiana was talking about
the story.
Did you hear? Do you want to hear?
I really don't.
You don't want to hear?
No, I think I know. Or
you do?
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
Sorry, that's not what I mean. It's like
it was interesting though.
I know what I got from it, so that's enough.
That's true.
I don't really want to, because yeah, I'm fine. But that was an amazing book. Mel, I'll find the name later, but right now I gotta. So my mom would say, you don't know the backstory.
Yeah.
And that book was kind of about that, how everybody's going through something.
Yes.
And that manifests in them snapping at you or in them being judgmental towards you for their own insecurities and things like that. And that I still repeat to myself.
And you also have to take into account like mental illnesses and stuff.
Oh my God, that's absolutely.
An asshole, maybe they have bipolar disorder. And I would still argue that people are always responsible for their actions. In most cases, unless you're so clinically insane that you have no grasp on reality. But then you shouldn't. Then you should be put in an institution. You shouldn't be allowed to interact with society. But
you have to add that into your thinking about them. You have to consider that they're going through something that makes it difficult or nearly impossible to not behave that way, or
I felt that way.
It alters their behavior.
Like, I piss people off a lot, and I say this a lot of the time, and I'm not trying to make excuses that I really sometimes do not feel like I can control things.
I just thought about your voluntary Tourette's.
Yeah, that's voluntary.
Yeah.
But sometimes I choose to say stupid things. But sometimes I say things that are inappropriate and offensive because I am trying to get a reaction out of people, and other times it's because I don't understand that what I'm saying is going to upset people.
And I feel like I've unfairly come at you for that before.
That's okay, that's understandable.
And I apologize, but what I am trying to do is get you to think about that a little more sometimes.
I can learn it. Like, if I say something inappropriate and you explain to me why it's inappropriate, then I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to say that again. But that's not a guarantee that some other subject, which I haven't blurted out in public yet, I'm not going to, because it's still the same thing. It's like, I don't understand why would someone get mad.
Yeah.
And that's something I've also been talking to my therapist about, because she's had other people who have similar things. Like, she was talking about like her friend or one of her clients, like when it was the 9/11 anniversary, he was going around and he was talking about 9/11 conspiracies, and she was like, no, you were going to get punched. Yeah, and that's something that I absolutely would do. Walk around and talk about conspiracy theories on 9/11 day.
My therapist said, I'm going to get punched. That's really good.
My therapist said, I'm going to punch you.
My therapist said, I'm going to punch you. I'm invited. So therapy kind of reminds me of the other thing I was thinking, not so much I don't go to therapy yet. I have nothing against it. I think it's fantastic. I just haven't.
Here on campus, you pay $40 the first time, and then you can go free for like a few days. Or like a few times, I think until the end of the semester. And then you have to pay $40 again, which compared to the outside
that's
world,
fantastic.
Where it costs like over $100. It's like
per session. Yeah.
It's insane. It's like I'm taking advantage of this resource, and I'm going every week, even if I don't feel like I need it. You know.
Wow. Well. Yeah, I need to do that.
It's been great. That's why I brought that painting over there on your bed, because I accidentally brought a painting in there one day, and I showed it to her, and she said, oh, she loved it, and always bringing your paintings and stuff. So.
Oh, that's fantastic, and that's why you wanted that piece from the case.
Yeah, I was going to show, but I'll just show her a picture on my phone, or I'll just wait until I get it later and show her something.
So therapy, not in the sense that I would like to go, I will go. Fantastic, it's awesome.
Yeah.
If you want it or need it, great.
I'm so sick of the stigma against it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, because it's like that whole stigma that asking for help is weakness, and it's not. Yeah. But what I was going to say is, this is the second thing I mentioned a while ago. The first one being my mom saying we don't know the backstory, was, also that goes with don't assume intent, is like the more professional way to say that, which for me I have to do every time I text someone or every time I have a nonverbal communication with someone.
Well, that's an anxiety thing. I always get super anxious especially with text, because they're so ambiguous. I mean, it's hard enough to read human beings. It's like it's harder to read
words written by human beings.
It's like a manifestation of a human being.
Yeah, it's an abstraction at best. Anyway, you're totally right, but oh damn, I was gonna say something. Hold on, I'll get it back. But you can't assume intent. Oh, I was walking to school a couple days ago, and I had this realization that until very recently, or I thought maybe progress with, because I've had insecurities, specifically like self-image and self-confidence issues my whole life. I didn't realize how, I won't say how bad I had them, because I don't think it was really that bad in the grand scheme of things, but they certainly were there, and I didn't really think about them as being a problem. I thought, oh, this is probably just how people feel. And I've gotten a hell of a lot better in the last, like, awesome. 2 years, 2 or 3. Best I've ever been, so keep going.
Well, that's another thing about therapy, is like sometimes you don't always understand how bad things in your head are until you talk to someone about it, and it's like, oh yeah, this isn't normal, this isn't healthy.
Okay, I have so many things I want to talk about.
I'll let you talk for a while.
No, don't worry, I want your input, but I was gonna say the thing that I thought while I was walking to school, and it was something I never thought before, that I think I might have stopped walking.
I love that feeling.
Maybe, I don't know if I did, but I certainly felt like stopping and just sort of standing there. Was I realized that one of my biggest insecurities is about having insecurities. And I was like, this is stupid. And at that moment, it's not like I stopped being insecure about my insecurities, but I realized that that is an insecurity. So like, I was self-conscious that I was self-conscious. Or I was self-conscious about my lack of self-confidence. And that's such a weird recursive thing.
Strange.
I don't know how you stop that. But what I did realize was that even if that is a weakness, which it probably isn't even, I don't have to be ashamed of it.
Absolutely not.
And that was so strange to me, to like, I'm sure I'm doing a horrible job of explaining it, but I was thinking, like, I don't have to be ashamed of my troubles, of my problems, strong word, I don't know, my issues.
That's exactly something I've been feeling.
And that was amazing and liberating, and it was really cool.
I think I understand what you mean, actually. I felt that too, because I feel like until college, until I found this group of friends that I'm in now, I finally realized, like, I can talk about things that are upsetting me, and it's such a relief. It's weird, and I know what you mean, because I feel like it's kind of like, I was always kind of afraid to talk about things that were upsetting me in my life, because I was afraid people were going to think that I was being melodramatic or whiny or spoiled or entitled. I was afraid of all those things, because it's like, I didn't want people to think, oh, this guy just walks around and complains and he's not grateful for all the things he has. And I used to worry about that, but then I realized... In
itself an insecurity. I know,
insecurity, and
I had that too.
It's like talking about something honestly with someone is not the same as being overly dramatic about something that isn't a big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
I've recently come to think about how much I want to be authentic in things that I do, rather than, I don't care if I'm smart or like, quote, stupid or anything, successful, unsuccessful. As long as it's authentic and I'm some like amount of happy with it, then I don't care. That's why my art has changed so much recently. That was another interesting thing. I stopped, just like this semester, I stopped trying to impress people with my artistic ability and started just using my artistic ability to do what I want.
I think that's great.
And it took me long enough, but because I'm 21, it took me, and I've been drawing seriously since 6th grade.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe earlier.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll say, I don't know.
Well, that depends on what you do.
5th grade.
By drawing seriously.
Where drawing was a thing that I knew I was good at, and I was aware that I was doing it more often than most other people.
I don't know when I made that realization, because I remember...
Oh, it might be earlier. It's probably elementary school.
People telling me that I was drawing ever since I was like 4, and like, my mom saved a lot of my drawings when I was a child, and there are literally like drawings that I made when I was 4. I just started drawing and just like never stopped. And I would always, because I don't completely relate to that experience you relayed, because I've always just kind of felt like I just draw what I want, and what other reason is there to draw for?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it's like, but I know what you mean about authenticity, because I haven't always been authentic as a person and the way I present myself. And like, I used to be extremely arrogant, like almost to megalomaniac levels, especially when I was little. Like, I really thought like everyone around me I'm some kind of genius and I'm going to change the world and I'm going to make things better because everything around me is so horrible and I'm the only one that can do this and everyone is so below me. And I got out of that because I realized that that was just me creating a defense mechanism so that I didn't have to face these fears and insecurities that I had. Like, I think I fed those lies to myself because I actually thought that I was stupid and because I actually thought that I wasn't as good as other people, you know.
Wow.
And that's what helped me get out of it. And I also used to be like a serious what the hell is happening with the lighting? Is there a cloud?
Yeah, there's clouds.
This is weird.
Yeah, the room just became blue and dim. It was very strange.
It's
perfect. Thank you, God.
Like,
continue. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, and I also used to be like a serious misanthrope, and not just like when you're like a teenager and you just feel like you hate everyone and it's just like a thing. It's like I really hated and mistrusted human beings, and part of the way I got out of that was because I realized that I was hating because I was afraid of human beings, because I was afraid to interact with people, because I've been manipulated by people before in very extreme ways, and so whenever someone was kind to me, I was always afraid that was just, I was always put on guard, like they're just trying to manipulate me, they don't actually care about me, and so that made me kind of withdraw from society. And then once I got over that, I was able to start forming relationships with people again, and then here I am now.
Yeah. I am the opposite of a professional at this, but what I've realized in my own thinking and behavior is that so much of it is projection.
Yeah.
It's all from inside going out, and very little of it is outside coming in. Very little of my fears and insecurities are like based in reality from the external becoming, and I'm taking them in. It's all me starting with this weird idea or weird misguided thought about something and then applying it to the things that I see. Mm-hmm. And of course that's what that weird misguided thought is about, so it's a perfect loop.
Yeah. I think my brain is one of the worst things in my life. Not the people or things around me, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some point, I don't want to go this far. I don't want to get to why anything levels, but I do want to say at some point your brain is all you have. Your mind, it doesn't matter because everything gets filtered through that.
It begins and ends with that.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Before we get too far down that rabbit hole.
Onto this track, though. This is really fascinating.
Yeah.
I love talking about this stuff.
I can't remember the other thing I was going to say. I've mentioned it in the past, maybe not recorded, but
wait to come back.
I don't. This is nice. One of my all-time favorite quotes was, I'm going to misquote it, and I don't even remember who said it. But I know that they said something about life becomes much easier the moment you stop thinking of others' behavior as a reflection of what they think of you and start thinking of it as a reflection of what they think of themselves.
Well, I thought you were going to say a reflection of what you think of you.
That may also be true.
Their behavior, your perception of their behavior is a reflection of how you view yourself.
That's like
also how they view themselves.
That's like Act 4, yeah. But Acts 1 through 3 are the part that I really was talking about, where it's like looking at the way a person behaves towards you and knowing that that's you probably projection on some level.
And that's why I think deflection is like the best way to handle assholes. It's like revenge is not. It's like you just gotta let it bounce off you, and like the best way to win a fight with someone who is antagonizing you is to just be the rational one in that situation. Like, that doesn't mean be passive and let them walk all over you. It just means like don't put up with their bullshit, you know.
I was thinking about, this was in the shower also, I was thinking about the way that I would respond now should I get in some serious altercation.
Is it already almost 2?
What? Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We've been recording.
34 minutes.
Oh, okay. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
so I think a lot about, and I think a lot of people do, about what would I do if I got in some sort of fight, verbal or physical, and my response, and how would I handle it. Maybe that is just me, and I'm outing myself, but I don't mind. So I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, what would I do if this person said this to me? And of course, this is on I'm not asking myself these questions in my head, I'm just playing out the scenario. But I realized that my answers have changed.
Oh, interesting.
So in the past, I would have like yelled and screamed and maybe thrown a punch or something counterproductive like that. But now I'm thinking it would be a lot more, and this is like if I'm getting into a serious argument with a friend or acquaintance that I know and that I feel is doing something wrong towards me. And in the past, it would be really accusatory, and I'd be like, you're doing this, and it's awful. Yeah. And I think now it'd be a lot more about trying my hardest to avoid conflict and just getting them to understand what I meant. And letting things go a lot more. Like
also understanding them and like why they were in a situation that they did something to you like that. I see.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to think about this and say it at the same time, and it's not exactly transferring, but what I meant by this was that I think that's a sign of maturity. I don't want to doot my own horn, but the other thing is that no longer being insecure about being insecure, I think is also, and I'm not saying in me, I'm saying in anyone, I think that's a sign of maturity too. Like accepting your flaws, accepting that you are imperfect and have things to work on and work towards, and not just saying it, because I've said that a lot. I'm like, I'm not perfect, but knowing it and being cool with it.
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about when I was interpreting your boat drawing. Can I put that up on the screen for everyone?
Oh, please do. Yeah, I have to go in and scan that. But actually, if you afterwards later on, I will come into the school with you because I need to buy a new newsprint pad for David's class, and I need to scan.
End on like 2:10.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, because I gotta be somewhere at 3.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So this episode might be a little shorter.
That's okay.
It's fine. It'll be 45 minutes.
That's enough time.
Yeah. No, I'm dumb. That's 15, whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll have a timestamp.
We're wasting time talking about it.
This is unnecessary math. I'll scan that drawing and you can put it up.
Okay.
So what were you going to say about it?
I was going to say...
I'm honored also that you enjoy it and bring it up.
And your concept, and forgive me for speaking on behalf of your art.
No, I'm right here, so I'll come at you. See what happens.
It was like a guy in a boat and people swimming, and it's supposed to. And the condensed idea is that the person in the boat sees everyone around them as. Essentially, I interpret it as being stronger than him, because whether that's mentally or physically or emotionally or whatever, like they're all able to do things, maybe artistically, and I still need this boat, I still need this support, and I'm not in the flow like they are, I have no objection to that. That's how I interpret it.
If I were to, and I think this is the beautiful thing about art, is that message and the feeling of it got through, but if I were to put it into words, I'd do it slightly differently. Yeah. And I'd say that, well, first of all, it's basically me. I'm in the boat. So there, I said it.
That's unavoidable. I can't make something that isn't about me.
That's what I've realized lately. I just pointed to another thing that has me in it in a weird situation on the wall.
Even when I make a character that's evil, it's usually a side of me that I know is in me that I hate.
Now, hold up there, Carl Jung. I want to talk about me. Jung said it's my turn on the monologue. If I were to describe that piece with the boat and the swimmers, I would, first of all, it's called Surface Tension, and that's maybe my favorite title ever. I don't mean to play that up, but Mike did call me a sexy man and threatened to kiss me after I
said that?
Yeah.
That sounds like me. I'm still holding you to that.
Anyway,
threatened you?
Yeah, it wasn't my choice. You're like, I'm gonna kiss you. That's the running joke in this. Well, not even in our friend group, just with Mike.
Can I make a side note?
Can I? yes, I want to say it before I forget it. I would say that piece was about me seeing other people who seem like they're more in touch with reality and more deeply able to perceive the world around them and analyze the world around them in a way that I'm not. And the boat got interpreted as support a lot in the class.
That's how I thought.
I didn't even think of that. I thought of it as like, this is just what I'm doing. I built the boat.
Yeah.
I built the boat as a way to get across the surface of the water easily.
I see.
These people are strong enough and clever enough and able enough, whether that means able to breathe underwater, if you want to think about it that way, or able to see and analyze in a way that I can't, that they're swimming. They're swimming through life. I'm skating across the surface.
What I said...
Skimming, not skating.
What I said to that is that I think probably most people think of themselves as being in a boat and everyone else is swimming, and that's like the idea that the people who actually are swimming, I would have said that it's like they're in a boat because people who think that they're so great and so talented and that they know everything are usually the people who are either deluded and they don't actually know that many things, or they're only acting that way because they're insecure, or maybe both at the same time. And then Christiana, in response to that, said, well, he doesn't think that's a good interpretation because he was talking about how he doesn't like false modesty, which is like, if you are swimming, if you actually are that skilled, then you should be honest with yourself about that. And I get that too, but it's like, that made me feel weird then, because I was like, okay, now I see what you're talking about. And it's like, because I was talking about like the absence of extreme arrogance, and he was talking about the other side of the spectrum, which is like
the presence of extreme humility?
Not even extreme humility.
But falsified humility,
it's a form of arrogance.
Yeah, you're totally right.
Humility, like genuine extreme humility, is a different thing. That's also bad, though. But it's like...
Genuine extreme humility is bad?
Yeah, extreme humility? No, you should not have that. You gotta be proud of yourself a little bit. You gotta believe in yourself. It's like, I don't think...
That's weird. When I think of the word humility, I think of it as almost always positive, in the sense that that extreme humility, when I use it, I think like knowing yourself and being totally comfortable in yourself and your abilities, and never denying your abilities, but never bragging about them, and never going out of your way to make them known. What I think you are talking about when you say extreme humility is self-deprecation.
Yes.
Okay, I think those are different.
Yeah.
And I think that self-deprecation is sometimes bad. And often funny.
Well, no, not
often in humor. Yeah.
But because that's
but if it's
joke.
If it's genuine and you feel that way, that's bad. That will usually become, that is like, that's just symptomatic, I think. Yeah. But I'm sorry, you were saying something. Boy, that chair is loud as fuck. You were saying something about David saying, I don't remember what you
he was
said.
Saying,
arrogance and humility.
If you don't need a boat, like, you should be honest with that, and don't be like one of those people who's like, I never thought we would get this far,
Oh, I do remember that conversation.
Because I also hate that, and it's like, I'm starting to realize that too, because like, I think after what I just told you about how I thought I was really arrogant, I feel like for a while I was feeling like I was more stupid than I actually was, as like a reaction to trying to get away from how I used to be. And so now I feel like I'm kind of leveling out, and I have to kind of like, because I have such a fear of becoming arrogant again that I think I act less intelligent than I actually am. So what I'm experiencing now is this transformation of going back to this middle ground where like I'm accepting that I still have all this potential to learn and to grow as a human being, but I also have to recognize that I'm not an idiot, that I actually have a brain, and that I have special talents that I can choose to like make something out of,
I do. I know exactly. So I've, in the last, I don't know, few months.
It's called the Growing Boys podcast.
Oh God, this one's very self-help-ish.
Start with this fucking thing.
It's called a hook.
Are we gonna have like a weird self-help podcast now?
No, it's just
the tone for the whole thing.
We're not telling people what to do. We're just saying what we're doing.
Even self-help books are like that.
Yeah. All right. I want to get the word self-help out of this.
Help yourself. That should be the name of a self-help book.
Help yourself. I'm sure. I'm almost. I'm as positive as I can be without actually knowing that it is.
Yeah.
So the thing I was going to say is, lately, I've been, and this is the first time in my life I've had this. I've been starting to think, what if I'm stupid?
Oh. And I know that feeling. Yeah.
And like, because I've been the honors kid, and that doesn't mean much. It really just means my brain was wired right to pay attention in class. That made school easy.
I've always hated honors stuff.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
That made school easy for me. It wasn't like I wasn't struggling or working extra hard, or on the flip side, I did do a little bit of extra hard work in high school because I wanted good grades.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, and I think what this is, the honors designation seems to assume or assign, is that things are just easy for you and you operate at a higher level. Mm-hmm. And I can't speak to, because I don't know, I can't speak to whether or not that's true. It certainly doesn't feel true to me. It was just like, I just paid attention.
Yeah,
that's
don't think
it.
It's true either. I don't like the way school, when I talk about school, it's like, I am grateful that I got an education. Mm-hmm. I know that there are people in America and other countries who are like illiterate and things like that, and I don't think that those people are less stupid than me. It's just that they didn't have the opportunity to get an education. But I still...
You don't think that those people are less intelligent than you?
Yes.
Okay,
yes. Because, because even like someone like Forrest Gump, even though I know he's a fictional character, like he still seems like someone who's like, he's very emotionally intelligent. And so he's not someone who you get mad at for being an idiot, even though he had like a really low IQ. And what I was gonna say was like, I still talk very negatively and critically towards the education system, and I always felt like I hated school, just because I think now when I'm starting to figure all this out, is that I just feel like my brain was not hardwired to pay attention and to do things the way that schools were meant to teach people. It's just my brain was not meant for that kind of education. Yeah,
I saw this tweet once that was like, who the fuck decided that the world would run on morning people's time? And it was, somebody replied like, they got up early and decided it before the rest of us were up. And I think it's humorous, but it's true.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who decided that the world works on this kind of brain's schedule and format? And I think whether you call it a gift or just dumb luck, I think I have that kind of brain that made school easy for me. And that's not an intelligence thing. That's like it was just a coincidence.
And that's also not something you should feel ashamed of.
No, I don't. I'm just saying that I think that's mostly why. But then lately it's become like, well, I had that kind of brain, but is that real intelligence?
Oh.
And that's become, and in the times when I'm clear and focused and good and I can think about it sort of in a little bit higher of an objective state, I realize that one, intelligence is not the only aspect of a person. In fact, there is no single aspect of a person. We're all humans.
Yeah.
That's enough. Another David thing.
I used to put so much self-value on my intelligence.
I did too. I put that,
so bad.
That and my artistic ability, which turns out was not artistic ability, it was rendering ability. How accurate could I render something? Which, that's one I've given up. But the intelligence one is harder for me.
For me, it was originality. I was very afraid because my art, especially back like when I started college, it was so similar to all the artists that inspired me, and it still is. And I would always kind of feel insecure whenever someone would say like, "Oh, that looks like Tim Burton. That looks like Invader Zim. That looks like this, that." And I would be like, "Oh no, am I just like a hack? Am I just like a ripoff of these other people who are so original?" And I've kind of gotten over that insecurity now, and I think
that's good.
in getting
that's really
over
good.
that insecurity, it has also helped me become more original, because I feel like my art style, or not even just style, my voice and everything now, because I don't care about the word style anymore.
Yeah, David got that into our souls.
Yeah, like now I feel very much like I'm starting on my own path, and I'm not just constantly using stuff that other people made as a crutch.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's really interesting, because when I have these moments where I see someone, it usually happens when I see somebody, or like I'm talking to someone and I realize that this person, whoever it might be, has thought about something that I think about all the time, but they've thought about it in a way that I never even considered. And I was like, well, of course that's right.
I lost you. I don't understand that.
I'm talking to someone and we're talking about an issue that I've thought about on my own for a long time. They've thought about it on their own for a long time, and we're it's like not even a consensus. We're just talking about it, like a common issue, I don't even have an example. I can't think of any, but I know it's happened. And they give their opinion on it, or the way that they analyzed it. And it's like, I'm an idiot, of course. Like, that makes so much sense. Why did I never see that?
Yeah.
Or
I had that experience like 2 days ago.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead. Two more things I want to say after this, but then we're probably running on 4 minutes.
I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, good. I got both of them. This never happens. You're the talkie man.
Talkie man.
That's talkie man. Uh-oh.
What?
No, I got them. They're in there. I just stared blankly at Mike for half a second. So that was tough when I started to think, and this is very recent and sort of ongoing, but not really, where I start thinking like, oh, I'm not that smart after all, and I have to remember that first of all, it's just so hard for me to know that. There's no way I could know how intelligent I am relative to everyone else, nor would it matter.
Oh, I do remember what I was going to say, but keep going.
Okay.
It's okay if we go over.
All right. And then, so that's been an issue lately, like, what if I'm not smart? And I'll catch myself thinking like that, which I guess is good, because I catch myself thinking about it. But I have to really make a concerted effort to, like, get myself out of that cycle. Of like, what if I'm stupid?
Yeah. That
thing, which is odd. It's not like a factual stupid. Anyway, I remember the other thing. We'll just let that one simmer for a while. The other thing I remembered is I was in. So we have a class with this guy, David Christiana, fantastic artist. Shout him out. Why not? This dude's so much more famous than any of us will ever be.
Maybe he'll get some.
Maybe he'll get
some clout.
Yeah, clout. But yeah, he's an awesome dude, and he's our professor. And I have him in another class right after the one that Mike and I have with him. And he talks a lot about voice and how he doesn't like the word style.
Yeah.
But
I've never considered that before he told me.
It's incredible. And basically what I was going to say is that a few classes ago in this other class in figure illustration that you're not in, I heard his actual crystallization of how he views voice and style.
Oh, good.
And it was fantastic.
Can you explain?
I wrote it down, but I remember it anyway.
Okay.
It was him saying, I also wrote down another amazing quote from him, which I'll grab in a second.
Let's finish it on this. I can do my thought another day.
Okay, well then I want to end it on it's a concise quote, but let me start with the style versus voice.
Okay.
He said that style is not a valuable word or it's not a useful word because anyone can copy style.
Yeah.
No one has your voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
That's interesting.
And I've heard him say stuff about style and voice countless times, dozens, I'm sure, and how they're distinct and absolutely not equivalent in any way, or not in any way, how they're often conflated, there I said it, and how they are different.
Word?
Yeah, well.
You know those pretentious?
I don't know,
It makes sense.
Yeah, right now it was the only word I could think of. Anyway, unimportant. And so that was cool to hear him finally put into a few words. Brevity is not his strong suit.
No, absolutely not.
He loves to talk, and it's incredible. Yeah. And it's incredible when he does, because he says good stuff, like the other quote I'll tell in a second. But yeah, he just said, you can copy someone's style, someone can copy your style, but nobody has your voice.
That's really...
And it was fantastic and concise and reassuring, and it made me realize that my art has gotten better not because I have gotten more skilled, which I absolutely have, and I've gotten more skilled in ways that I wouldn't have expected. Like, I used to be hyper fixated on details and stuff, and lately it's all about paring down. Like, if I draw a person, it's unlikely that I draw the whole figure. I'll draw, like, a forearm, and then, like, lower leg and, like, calf and ankle, instead of, I won't draw the connecting piece. This is too specific, but that's what I mean. Like, it took me places I wouldn't have expected, and there is an aspect of that is skill related, but most of it has come from me knowing what I want to draw and don't want to draw, and what I want to say or not say.
Yeah.
So that was the voice.
Yeah.
I dropped the concern with style and picked up the acknowledgement and the recognition of voice.
It's also possible, though, to be inauthentic with yourself about what your voice is, though. So that's also a challenge that you have to overcome. And
that's one that but I mean, I think the answer to that is just, that's a sort of like look within every time you have to, yeah. But let me just build the tension real quick by going and getting my sketchbook where I wrote down the other quote that David said. I don't even remember what it was about so much. No, it was about starting a project.
Okay.
And just art in general. Hold the fort down.
This audience entertained in your absence.
All right. Oh, I'm not on mic. I also found the name of, or the artist who made that Small Things. It's Mel Tregonning.
I knew it was a tree.
I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
Tregonning.
Can I please tell you the secret?
Yeah, and then I'll end with the quote. What's the secret?
Okay.
Wait, spoilers.
Yeah, Okay, so Mel committed suicide.
Oh my God.
Before she finished the book, and Sean.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a girl.
There I go assuming again.
His name is Sean Tan.
Sean Tan.
He had to finish the book for her, and he tried to copy her style exactly. He did like the.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because that was all her illustrations.
Oh my God.
He was associated with that because he worked in the same like publishing company, and he knew her, and he was friends with her, and so he took over the project and just finished it.
That's already a heavy book.
Especially, considering the subject matter.
Good God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not something you tell a kid who's reading it.
Yeah.
Woof. All right. Well, that's heavy.
Yeah.
But let's lighten it up a little bit. I don't know where I put it.
Cool rings, bro.
Thanks, Doug. Oh, it's Inktober again. You know what that means?
I'm not doing it.
I tried. I got to day 2.
I did it last Halloween.
I haven't done day 3 yet, and it's currently day 4.
It's called 3.
It's not, unfortunately. Oh, this is the wrong sketchbook. We get to build tension again. Yay!
All right. I'm entertaining them. Yes. Yes.
No. Hold up.
All
right, we flipping. Oh, no. I know what. I put it in my phone. Hold on. Well, that was a whole lot of suspense for nothing.
Someone out here likes this.
Yeah, well, it's
If no one else does, we'll like it.
Then we've said words, we've sent them into the void.
Yeah, we've sent them out into the cosmos so that aliens can hear it like the bird in the grass.
And the Hitler.
What?
The first things that reached, the first signals strong enough to leave Earth were broadcasts of Hitler.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that great? Well, okay. That sounds like an urban legend, but I think there's some truth to that. Like, the first radio signals that were strong enough to go great distances into space.
Oh, before the vibrations die out or something?
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
Well, there's no vibration. It's light.
Yeah, well, I mean, it must have been like... Well, light goes by vibrations.
Particles and waves, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nobody does. Ooh. Anyway. Eisenstein. Yeah. So let me try and give some context for this quote.
Okay, then I gotta go.
Yeah. We were talking about this assignment that we have coming up. And it's not so much important what the assignment is, but needless to say, it's a lot of people's. I'm like retrograde taking this class.
Isn't retrograde like the astrology thing?
Yes, my Mercury's in retrograde, and so I'm taking this class. No, I'm retroactively. I'm going back in the course schedule. Yeah, I'm going back in the course schedule to take this class because it's designed for first semester juniors, and I'm a first semester senior. Mm-hmm. But I really wanted to take it, and I was right. It has absolutely changed my life.
Wow.
So that's.
I'll take it too the next semester.
It's only offered in the fall.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
I'll just learn from you.
All right. Not gonna be the same.
Well, I'll just go to Christiana's house.
But yeah, I know his address. Oh God, edit that out. I don't have it memorized.
Okay.
I just turned over a poster in his room and it was there. Dox David.
He's not even gonna know. He's not gonna listen to this.
Good. So lots of people are uncomfortable. That sounds too like aggressive. Lots of people are unsure about the way he's introducing this project because they haven't gotten to know that when he says like, oh, just do whatever, he's not gonna then turn around and be unhappy with what you turn in.
Do whatever?
No, but it's, you know how his projects are. Extremely vague in one sense.
And I love it.
It's great.
I love it.
He truly does give you freedom to do stuff, and these people, that sounded so weird. These students who haven't had him before don't know yet that he means that, and that they can do whatever they want, and he's not looking for any certain thing. In fact, he's looking for no certain thing.
I see.
He's trying to get you to do exactly what you want.
Interesting.
And that's a weird dynamic that I hadn't seen until his class.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
It's wonderful.
That's how all school should be, I think.
Yeah, in a perfect world.
Yeah.
But these other students in there don't know it yet, and so there have been a lot of questions about, like, well, how do we do this? And you know that's not his style.
Yeah.
How is not the issue.
Yeah.
But it basically boiled down to him saying, at the start of the project, just draw. And then this is the quote I wrote down. Draw hard, draw fast, draw big, draw ugly, but draw.
Huh.
And that was it.
Interesting, yeah.
And so I guess this is where we leave you.
All right. Y'all better be drawn.
You heard it first, folks, here. Say something, Mike. I fucked up.